Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a good one. We had a pretty dry day out there today, mainly cloudy skies, but overall today, not a bad day. It's now starting to move in. The rain is, that I should say, and we are going to see this rain continue to move in as we head through the nighttime tonight. And it looks like the rain will become heavier and steadier, especially through the overnight hours. But I think a big part of the story with this storm, and really just the difference from last week as well, as the wind is going to be stronger with this storm. And we had a very, there was a very fine gradient with the strong wind gust, at least what was expected from last week's storm. This time around, it looks like it will be definitely a little bit more widespread and uniform when it comes to how strong these wind gusts are. And yeah, they are going to be on the strong side as we head through the daytime tomorrow. So let's get into it. Right now, outside in Portland, we have wet roads. It was raining just a little bit ago. Temperature of 45 degrees, but the wind, not a big deal right now. And that's expected. We're not looking at strong winds over the next couple hours. It's really overnight and into tomorrow that we are going to see the strong wind gusts develop. Temperature of 45 degrees. Yeah, it's on the mild side. And these numbers are only going to increase as we head through the nighttime tonight and into the day tomorrow. And temperatures all throughout the region are in the 30s and 40s, I guess, depending on where you are. We have temperatures right now of 34 degrees in Freiburg. It's 37 degrees in Rumford, 39 degrees in Lewiston. Most areas down towards the coast, we have a wind directly out of the south and east, which is bringing in some milder temperatures down towards the coast. As you can see, the ocean temperature is 46 degrees, so the numbers, actual air temperatures, are pretty much matching that, around 45, 46, 47 degrees. All right, the winds, they are not too bad right now. It is a little gusty up towards Bar Harbor, but overall, anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. But notice where those arrows are coming from. I mean, this is a fetch right out of the south and east, which is a direction that is going to give us the strongest wind gusts on average, because when you have the wind coming directly over the open ocean, there's no frictional forces to slow the wind down. And of course, that just pounds right into the coastline. And that's why we always see the strongest wind gusts down towards the immediate coast, at least in especially storms like this, when you have wind out of the south and east. These numbers are going to increase as we head through the nighttime tonight. All right, here we go. Area of low pressure down to our south, and that storm system is going to move in. Notice a lot of rain for areas like Washington, D.C., pretty much the entire state of Virginia, Maryland, up through Philadelphia. All of this is going to move in. And actually, let me go back to that for a second and zoom in a little bit more. And you can see that the heaviest of rainfall right now is centered over the mid-Atlantic, over towards Washington, D.C. right now. Eventually, this is all going to move in as this storm system is going to take a track up towards the north and pretty much move just like this, give or take, up through the northeast. And we are going to see a warm storm with this. Of course, temperatures are going to run in the upper 50s in some parts of the state. And as we zoom in even further, let me zoom in right to our area. And we have some steadier rain moving into York County. Sanford right now, we have some steady rain. As you head off towards areas like Freiburg, you have some rain right now. Let me know what you guys are seeing. If you're seeing any rain at the moment, you have steady rain, light rain. I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, most of this is all going to move in as we head through the nighttime tonight. A little batch of rain down to the south moving through Boston right now. That will pass through. And then it looks like we could dry out maybe for an hour or so, at least some lighter rain before the real main storm moves in as we head into tomorrow morning. A high wind warning is up for the daytime tomorrow. 7 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday is where we are going to see the strongest wind gusts, where you see that gold shading in the tan. We do have a wind advisory up that runs for pretty much the entire day tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. And we are going to see the strongest wind gusts, I would say, between about 8 a.m. to 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I think that's the height of the storm where we are going to see the strongest winds and also the heaviest of rainfall. We also have a coastal flood warning up that only runs for the afternoon, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., right around high tide. High tide is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that is why we have the coastal flood warning up for the afternoon in particular. During this time frame, we are going to see upwards of 2 to 3 feet of water inundation for areas that are down towards the immediate coastline, some low-lying areas, maybe some of the parking lots, or unfortunately some of the yards. If you're right at the immediate coastline, you might get some excess water, maybe some possibly, again, coastal flooding down towards the coastline during the afternoon. You might wake up at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and think, wow, it's not bad. However, that is low tide. And once you get to the high tide during the afternoon is more or less when you are going to see the best chance for coastal flooding. And then a flood watch is up for a good part of most of inland Maine, as we are going to see, I think, the heaviest of rain fall up towards the mountains. And I'll talk about that in more detail coming up in just a few minutes. But yes, so there is a flood watch that runs from late tonight through late tomorrow. All right, here we go with the headlines for this storm. We're looking at heavy rainfall. We're also looking at strong wind gusts. I saw somebody mention too about last week, how is this a different situation because, the winds, we were talking about strong wind gusts last Monday, and it really just didn't work out. And sometimes the, computer models shift east. And that's exactly what happened with this past storm last week, where we actually had a shift in the computer models. We are not anticipating that with this storm. There's a lot of consistency with this one. And as I just mentioned with the storm last week, there was a very fine gradient of strong winds and really barely any wind. This time, all the computer models show strong winds for pretty much everybody. Again, I'll get into more detail on that, but I just don't compare this storm to last Monday. That is probably the best advice I can give you. I'm absolutely anticipating strong wind gusts with this storm, and also the chance for some flooding. As I just mentioned, chance for some coastal flooding during the afternoon, some river, stream, and also urban flooding as well, as we had generally during the late morning and afternoon hours, as we are going to see a lot of rainfall. Areas up towards the north and mountains, they have some snow, and anybody that has snow on the ground, of course, you could see some clogged drains. I would say most of the roads would be cleared because we haven't seen snow in a while. But I would just be careful if you are heading out, ponding on the roadways, the deal. And also, we could be looking at some hydroplaning issues as we have heavy rain expected for the day tomorrow. Here's your planner for this evening. Light rain out there right now. As we head through the nighttime, it will become heavier and steadier. And one thing you notice is the temperatures actually increase through the nighttime. 45, 46 degrees right now. Once we get to about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, the temperatures are in the lower 50s. This storm is not going to feature any snow. Doesn't matter if you're on Mount Katahdin or you're in Rockland. You're not going to see snow with this. This is going to be a rain event. Even areas up towards the mountains, they are going to see temperatures in the 50s. The storm track of this storm is just not favorable for any snow, which, some people are happy or mad about that. I'm not so happy, but I don't know. Maybe some people are. All right, so let's get into the forecast for the day tomorrow. It's pretty simple. Rain and wind throughout the entire day. The heaviest of rain, strongest of wind gusts. You're going to really just think of it as your typical 9 to 5 shift, right? You go into work 9 to 5. Pretty much what it's going to be, but I would say anywhere between about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning through any time after about 4, 5, 6 o'clock is when we are going to see the heaviest of rain, strongest of winds for the day tomorrow. All right, let's get into it a little more detail. It's right around 8:30 in the evening. Again, that steady rain down towards Boston right now is going to move in, and this is it as we head through the nighttime tonight. 8:30 in the evening, excuse me. And then through the overnight hours, there could be even a little bit of a break where it's just light rain through the overnight for an hour or two, but then the heavy rainfall. Here we go. 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Notice all the yellows, the reds, the oranges. That is a lot of rainfall. A lot of water is going to fall as we head through the daytime tomorrow. Here's 9:30 in the morning, and you can see very heavy rainfall. A lot of people heading out to work or school for the morning hours. They are going to need every single thing you can think of in terms of rain gear. You're going to want the umbrella, if you're into rain boots, bring the rain boots, raincoat, all that kind of stuff. You are just going to get soaked during the day tomorrow. Here's 9:30. And then through the lunchtime hour, maybe you want to bring your lunch instead of going out for the day tomorrow. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. And then once we get into about 3-4 o'clock, we're still looking at rain at this point. It looks like maybe you're looking at a situation where it's dry in one town, but it's pouring in the other. Probably a situation like that. But then by the time we get to about 7-8 o'clock, this storm system is going to move out, and we are going to dry out as we head through the overnight hours. And then tomorrow, at one point, we were thinking showers, maybe even a period of steady rain. The latest trends with the day on Tuesday is sunshine. Yeah, I think we're going to see partly cloudy skies. You can't rule out an isolated rain or snow shower for areas inland, but I think Tuesday as a whole is a dry day for 90 to 95% of the state. So outdoor plans Tuesday should be a go. We'll be a little cooler, but still in the 40s for most. Rainfall wise, yeah, that is a lot of rain. I would say most of the big cities and towns, the Portsmouths, the Portland, the Lewiston, Augustas, the Rocklands, down towards the coast, even over towards Bangor. Most areas, 1.5 to 3 inches of rain. That's kind of what I've been hinting at throughout the evening. If you were with us during the evening show, that's pretty much what I was saying. 1.5 to 3 inches of rain for most. Then you head up towards the mountains. And what happens is you get situations where you get some upslope. And up towards the mountains, up here, wow, that was a really bad circle. All right. Up, you get my point. Anyways, up towards the mountains, we have upslope, which can enhance rainfall. And I think that's going to be the case as we head into the nighttime tonight or tomorrow. And really through the day tomorrow, we are going to see a good amount of rainfall in the mountains in particular. I could see upwards of 3 to maybe even 5 inches of rain in some parts of the mountains. Most areas, though, around 1.5 to 3 inches of rain should do it for most. And the wind is the big story as well. Down towards the coast, 55 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts. Now, keep in mind, these are maximum wind gusts. These are not your consistent wind gusts that you see for hours on end. This is what do we max out at for wind gusts? I would say most areas down towards the coast will max out and see their strongest wind gusts during the mid-morning through the afternoon tomorrow. 55 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts and 45 to 55 for areas just inland. As you head up towards the far northern part of the state, even over towards areas like Freiburg, you're probably looking at 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts, which still, even that is also on the strong side. Now, two things I want to mention. Power outages. I'm expecting numerous power outages, but there are going to be some towns, Rockland maybe towards Portland, over towards the mid-coast, for example, where there are going to be widespread power outages. So you need to, prepare for power outages for the day tomorrow. I think we certainly will see them as we head into the morning and afternoon for the day on Monday. Wind gusts, again, I think the strongest wind gusts are immediately at the coastline. The mid-coast probably has the best chance in our viewing area to see the 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts. I think the Portland region, Cape Elizabeth, you're probably near 60, 55 to 60. And then one of those things where you head 5-10 miles inland on the north side of Portland over towards Westbrook, where you're probably closer to the 55 mile per hour wind gusts. Either way you want to look at it, it is going to be on the strong side, no matter where you are. But another thing that I want to mention that I've probably mentioned 5 or 6 times at this point, you're going to want to secure any loose items. And I say that because a lot of people have those little Santa Clauses out in their yards right now. We don't want to see Santa Claus 3 yards down. So I would take them in. I would take them in right now if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, that's a good point. Well, I would go out there right after this video and I would do it personally. That's what I would do because, again, then you can just put them back out there on Tuesday. But I would secure any loose items on the yard that you may have, especially Christmas decorations. We don't want to see those go anywhere. So I would do that. Let me get into some of these comments. I think it's a good time to do that. All right, here. Yes, Klein. This is absolutely correct. Yeah, the Carabasset Valley up towards the mountains. I've been hinting at 3 to 4, maybe 5 inches in isolated communities. And again, a lot of these places have snow on the ground, especially in the mountains. So you're looking at a lot of runoff along the mountains, which could cause urban, stream, river flooding up there. So this could be kind of a mess, especially for areas that have a lot of snowfall in the mountains. Sugarloaf, Sunday River, any of these places, of course, not only do they have natural snow, they also have man-made snow. And in these types of storms, they don't help. When we get temperatures in the 50s, you get the melting of the snow, you get the rain of the storm, but also that those two combined, it melts the snow and just pours down the river. And you could see maybe some, I don't want to use the word road washouts, but it's certainly possible tomorrow. You just never know with some of those strong rivers and streams that can develop right along the ocean or the mountainside. So that's something to keep an eye on. Down towards the coast, it's more coastal flooding that we have to keep a close eye on, where we could be looking at 2 to 3 feet of water inundation down towards parts of the coastline. That is something to keep a close eye on during the afternoon for the day tomorrow. But again, not the best of days, that's for sure. Drizzle in Limington, according to Travis. Thank you for that report. What else? Diana, we just got hit hard in the south. Stay safe, my main family and friends. Absolutely. Everyone stays safe. That is for sure. Mary, it has been raining really hard in Wells. Yes, and it's only going to increase as we head through the nighttime tonight. Klein, actually, I want to put this one back up. Sugarloaf will close tons of trails after this rain. That is a great point. Definitely, maybe you got out there today, but definitely a situation where you're probably going to want to call ahead the next time you go out skiing, unless it's, of course, in like a couple weeks. Then they probably have already made snow again. But I don't think it's going to be too pretty for areas like Sugarloaf and Black Mountain, all those places for the day tomorrow. Haley, hello. How are you? Yes, definitely a Grinch storm. That's for dang sure. What else do we have? All right, good question, Morgan. How will the waves at the beach be? I would say that's a tricky question, but I will put a number on it. I could see the waves upwards along the ocean of 10 to 12, even 15 feet. I think the highest waves you'll find in some of the immediate coastlines over towards the mid coast. Once you get down towards coastal York County, you're probably looking at 5 to 10. If I had to put a number on it, Portland, take the average of those two, maybe call it 8 to 12, give or take. But if over the open ocean, this is like 2 miles out, not anywhere near the immediate coastline, but over the open ocean, I mean, we could be talking waves as high as 20 to 25 feet. And so, yeah, do not go out on the waters for the day tomorrow. You absolutely will probably regret it pretty quickly. What should the expected wind gust be for Brunswick? Again, I think most areas in the southern part of the state, you're probably right along the immediate coastline, 55 to 65. And yeah, we're going to likely see power outages with this. And as we head into the daytime tomorrow. All right. 1 plus this. Yes, Crystal. This isn't happening on Christmas Day. This is the third week in a row, Sunday night into Monday, that we've had a storm. Three storms ago, we had snow for a lot of places. Last week, it was rain, but really not much wind. This is going to be rain and wind. Again, I've had people comment on some of my Facebook, Twitter pages and stuff saying that, well, the wind, it wasn't windy last week. Why all of a sudden it's just you can't, just try not to compare storms. That's probably the easiest thing I could say. Comparing storms is probably not the best thing that you can do. All right, storm threats for the day tomorrow. Flooding, and I always let me first clarify. I always try to go conservative with this because I try not to, worry people, but it's a legitimate storm that is going to cause a good amount of problems. Flooding potential. I do think that we are going to run the risk for some flooding, and that kind of is coastal flooding and urban stream. Also towards the rivers as well. We could be looking at some minor to moderate coastal flooding and also river stream urban flooding as well. Rain, upwards of 2 to 3.5 inches of rain up towards the mountains, 3 to 4 inches, maybe even a little bit more. And then the wind, yes, 55 to 65 mile per hour winds down towards the immediate coastline. That is quite a bit of wind. Not too much difference than you being out on the highway and sticking your head out the window, but that's along the immediate coast. Once you get inland, now you're talking 50, 55 miles per hour, and then up towards the further north, over towards the mountains, is pretty much 35 to 45. And then outages, yes, we are expecting numerous outages with this upcoming storm. Again, I'm not trying to worry anybody. I'm just speaking on what I know. All right, let's get a look at the 7-day forecast, and then I'll get to a couple more comments. All right, Monday, yes, heavy rain, wind. That is expected for the day. Tomorrow, we have weather warning up for wind and rain for the daytime. Tomorrow, then that clears out. And again, if you were with me last night during this Facebook Live or Twitter, YouTube, however you're watching this, I had at least a chance for showers on Tuesday. I think the coastline is going to stay dry with partly sunny skies. Temperatures running in the 40s. There may be an isolated rain shower, maybe a flurry for areas inland on Tuesday. But I think, again, as a whole, Tuesday's pretty much dry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all look good. We're going to see some sunshine, a good amount of sun for most days. Maybe partly cloudy skies Wednesday, but then once you get to Thursday, Friday through the weekend, I think a lot of it is just going to be mainly sunny skies. So temperatures will cool off to about average for this time of the year. We're talking temperatures in the low to mid 30s for areas inland, a few degrees warmer down towards the coast. So overall, once you get past tomorrow, this week is looking actually pretty nice. So we just have to get through the daytime tomorrow. Let me get to a couple more comments. Brooke, our previous weekend producer. I miss you, Brooke. White Christmas? No, it's just that simple. I don't think anybody will really see. Unless you're up towards the mountains, I would say you might be able to, depending on how much man-made snow and natural snow they have up towards the mountains, there may be salvaged some, but no, White Christmas for 98% of the state is not going to happen, unfortunately. Again, I wish we had a white Christmas. Ask anybody that knows me very well, and they would know that to be true. 1 inch of rain is 1 foot of snow. Yeah, that's pretty much true. We do have, I would say here, it's one of those things where that's always changing depending on the temperature. There's a lot of different variables that factor in. Most of the time, I would say 1 inch of rain is about 10 inches of snow. Up towards the mountains, you could see 15 to 1 ratio where you get 15 inches of snow for 1 foot of, 15 inches of snow for 1 inch of rain. But then generally down towards the coast where you have that really wet, pasty snow most of the time, more or less, most of the time it's 7 or 8 inches of snow to 1. So it does change, but I would say on average, you're probably talking about 10, maybe 11 inches to 1 inch of rain. Yeah, kind of cool how that works. Mary Joy, Sanford, wind. Let me pull up the wind graphic. I think a lot of people are curious about that while I answer this question. I would say, as you can see on the graphic here, you're probably looking at 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts. Sanford in particular, you probably just average it out. I would say you guys see a max wind gust of about 50. Again, keep in mind that this is maximum wind gust. This is not sustained winds. This is not anything like that. It's going to be the maximum winds that we see during the daytime tomorrow. Sustained winds, probably 25 to 35 miles per hour, a little bit lower up towards the areas in the north. But overall, yeah, these are just maximum wind gusts. Like, what are we going to see at times through the daytime tomorrow? So just again, we'll get through it, of course, but it's going to be kind of a mess for the day tomorrow. Yeah, Mark, it is. Yeah, I guess, but you better bring that raincoat if you are heading out for the day tomorrow. All right, I think that pretty much does it for the comments for the most part. If I didn't get to you, I apologize. I'm going to be back at 10 and 11. I think we're live. I'm not 100% sure. I wish I knew the answer to that, but tune in at 10 and 11 if we're there, and I'll give you the latest on this. We do have some computer model updates that come out, so I'll give you the latest updates on that. And again, just prepare for the wind and rain tomorrow. If you're down towards the coast, you could be looking at a little bit of coastal flooding. Rivers are going to run high for tomorrow afternoon, especially around high tide. And also some rivers or some stream and urban flooding possible as well. So we are going to see some high river streams and maybe some river flooding. And again, ponding on the roadways. You guys know the deal. This is all rain and wind. No snow is expected even up towards the mountain peaks. So hope you guys all have a good one. Enjoy your week. My weekend starts in about 4 hours, so I'm counting down the minutes. But for everybody else, I hope you guys have a great week and enjoy your day.